And Theresa May's speech to the Conservative conference is the main talking point. The Sun columnist Trevor Kavanagh says that Mrs May's startled cabinet ministers looked close to panic as the flurry of errors became a cringe-making embarrassment. In the Conservative Home website, Andrew Jimson writes, by the middle of this performance, we seem to be living through a grand opera rather than a party leader's address. He adds that, like the heroine in an opera, she looked as if she was going to perish on stage. The Times sketchwriter Patrick Kidd says Robo-May somehow turned into Frank Spencer as gradually, painfully, everything collapsed around her.
The Matt cartoonist in the Telegraph goes one further, depicting a plague of locusts descending on the conference hall. Tom Peck in The Independent likens it to a particularly vivid anxiety dream, describing it as a nightmare so richly layered that it was almost as if it had been directed by Christopher Nolan. The Eye's political editor Nigel Morris predicts the speech will go down in political history as the textbook example of everything going wrong, just when the Prime Minister needed something to go right.
The Spectator's James Forsyth reveals what he considers the real problem with the speech, that Mrs May's domestic agenda still isn't big enough or radical enough. The New Statesman's political editor George Eaton is equally unimpressed, portraying her as struggling towards the finishing line and pointing out that her refrain, the British dream, was lifted from Michael Howard and adapted from Ed Miliband.
For the Daily Mirror, her splutter disaster has put another nail in her political coffin, describing her as the calamity PM. It questions whether she can recover from a performance so bad it killed political satire. The Times considers her to be on a final warning, with Conservative MPs describing her as one crisis from the exit.